All right, let's do this. The Cleveland Guardians were one of the disappointments of the 2023 season. I think the Mets and the White Sox were the two biggest, but outside of that, it was kind of the Guardians division to handle, and it just did not happen. They couldn't hit again. They moved Josh Bell at the deadline. The pitching was young and good in spurts, but wasn't good enough to carry an offense that for stretches it felt like we're putting up 2 runs a game for a month. I'm going to run you through the payroll numbers and the transactions so far this season, but I went into this offseason with a bad taste in my mouth when I heard the word Guardians, and frankly, like that taste hasn't left.
First of all, before we completely disrespect the Guardians, I think the Padres and the Cardinals were bigger disappointments than the Guardians. I think that's fair.
Okay, yeah.
But on that same note, I was fully invested in the Guardians.
I know.
Bet them to win the division, bet their over win total. I thought Tito could drag me and you and Aram to a championship. And they had so many great young pieces. And some of those young pieces did exactly what I thought they would. Bo Naylor is a legitimate catching option at this point. His brother, Josh Naylor, is a legitimate first baseman. J-Ram does his thing. But damn it, Stephen Kwan. Tristan McKenzie goes down. They have nothing from the shortstop position. Andres Jimenez went from 6th in MVP voting in 2022 to a below average hitter.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of free fallers, and that's why I am excited for him this year, because I'm like, no way Jimenez is this bad. I think Naylor's just going to keep getting better, and the other Naylor is going to be great too. J-Ram's still J-Ram, and they have a shortstop coming up too, who I'm excited to talk about. And Kwan's bat is too good to be who he is. So let's keep it moving.
Let's keep it moving. 2023 payroll was around $115 million. This year, they're estimated at 128.5. About 13 of that goes to Shane Bieber, who just agreed to 1 year for $13.125 million. I hope he really enjoys that 125 grand that he's getting in his final year of arbitration. So this is Bieber's walk year. Is Bieber going to turn in an ace year? Probably, because he's going to hit the market, and somehow a guy sitting 90 is going to get $100 million.
Hold on. Did you just scoff at an extra $125,000? I mean,
for him.
Yeah, for him. But I mean,
I would love it. Yeah.
$125,000 and I am living it up.
I would love it.
I just to put these contracts in perspective, we laugh at 13.125, and that 125 is an incredible salary. It puts you in the 1% of the world, puts you in the 1% of America.
Yeah. But it's just like, you know what? We'll throw you this bone. It's a bone. That's what it is for Shane B. I'll take that bone.
I'll take $5.
Dude.
Dude.
Anybody want a Venmo? Other transactions, they hired Stephen Vogt as their manager. They lost your king, Cal Quantrill. They DFA'd him. They acquired Scott Barlow from San Diego for Angel De Los Santos. They took Davison De Los Santos in the Rule 5 draft from Arizona. They signed Austin Hedges to be their glue guy for a year and $4 million. They acquire Estevan Florial from the Yankees for Cody Morris. That's what they got cooking so far. Cal Quantrill, you already eulogized him on the show. Frankly, like, I didn't know if there was a spot in the rotation for him this year, if he was back and if they didn't DFA him.
What do you mean?
Sorry.
What the fuck are you talking about? Spot in the rotation. Of course there was a spot in the rotation. He's one of the best pitchers alive.
Is he the opening day starter in Colorado? No, Freeland, right? Hometown
Freeland,
kid.
No, Quantrill is. I mean, they're going to give it to Freeland because he's been there for 30 years. But no, Quantrill should be starting opening day for them.
Got you. Catcher, the catching situation, Bo Naylor with Austin Hedges as his backup. You also have David Fry and Brian Lavastida probably hanging out in Columbus. Wish he had a better offensive backup than Hedges, but Hedges clearly provides some value. Who cares? Bo Naylor's young.
You know what's crazy? Austin Hedges, when you look at catcher framing runs, it's a stat on Baseball Savant, grades catchers. Austin Hedges, number 2. Again. He's always going to be, that's why he keeps getting paid.
Yeah. Is Heim one?
Patrick Bailey.
Pat Bailey.
In like not that many games. This guy could be a generational framer based on his numbers from last year.
The other thing is pitching staffs love working with Hedges. And yeah, that could be framing, but he's also apparently an elite pitch caller too. Like, he's a great vibe setter with a pitching rotation, and it's great to have him as a backup. They bring him back. They clearly liked him. They
Yeah,
also have a catcher as the manager in Stephen Vogt. I think that's huge for Bo
huge.
Naylor.
I think Hedges becomes like a
A
coach for the
manager in
Guardians
waiting.
too. Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's literally Stephen Vogt. Like, I mean, is he not just a? So they brought in two of those guys. If I'm Bo Naylor right now, I am in the perfect situation. I get to bounce stuff off Hedges. My manager is Stephen Vogt. I can already hit, and he's a good defender. He's just such an athlete. This whole Naylor family is just freakish. They have a younger brother too who's coming up. Bo Naylor is kind of a guy that we have to watch that could end up being a top 10 catcher at the end of the season. So I
Yeah,
don't really care who the backup is. In terms of production, I really care that it's Hedges. I love that they brought him in.
yeah. In terms of first base, Josh Naylor and Kyle Manzardo are going to be some assortment of first base DH. Not touching that.
I
That's
love
great.
that. I love that. Kyle Manzardo coming over for Aaron Savali. Talked about it at the time, and Savali was great for the Rays. No doubt about it. He is a good pitcher. This Kyle Manzardo kid can hit, can really hit. Like we're talking about Michael Bush. Who would you rather have at the plate next year, Manzardo or Bush?
Manzardo.
Not even close.
It's close, but Manzardo.
I'm more of a Manzardo guy.
I know.
He's gonna rake.
He could. He very well could. And I think he'll probably play first base. And you got Josh Naylor DHing, but hey, Naylor's capable at first base, totally.
Oh, Naylor, yeah, Naylor's just straight up really, really good.
Yeah. Second base, Andres Jimenez, he'll play almost every day. Juan Brito is a top 100 prospect, and Brito could break in bar like if there's injury or anything, but you probably don't need him. Tyler Freeman is also like the best quad A guy we have in baseball. I think he's a big leaguer. There's just a gluttony of middle infield help right now. I'm not sure if that, is necessary.
No, we don't have to touch anything at second base. Like Andres Jimenez had a 141 WRC plus in 2022. He
Yeah.
finished sixth in MVP voting. He has to be better.
And he's an $100 million player.
Has to be better. The Guardians do not give out contracts like that. Point blank has to be better.
Yeah. Want to knock out third base. J. Ram, Davison De Los Santos is his backup, not doing anything.
But yeah, who cares?
Shortstop. The tandem of Brian Rocchio and Gabriel Arias is probably going to run out there. You also have Tyler Freeman. You've got Jose Tena, too. Might be an assortment. Rocchio should get the full season to prove that he's the guy.
Absolutely, he should. Do you know if they have any guys like deep in the system that could be able to make an impact? Because what if Rocchio doesn't work out? Like Gabriel Arias cannot be your everyday shortstop. I think he can hit in spots, better against lefties for sure. I think he's more of a platoon option, and I prefer that he kind of play everywhere else instead of being your starting shortstop. Of course, Ahmed Rosario is now gone. So if Rocchio doesn't work, do you know the backup plan? Because I do not.
It's probably Jose Tena. Tana did get some big league looks. He played 18 games, I want to say, in the big leagues last year. Yeah, it was an OPS under 600, but he, started 6 games. He played in 10 games at shortstop. I would assume Tana's the backup. Going into last year, I would have said Angel Martinez. Martinez was coming off of a great year in high A, but he split the year between double and triple this past year, and he was not good. Here's the thing about the Guardians' middle infield over the last bit. For the last several years, we've talked about how loaded the Guardian system is. And it's because of the factory that they have turned low A and high A into. It felt like they had 10 shortstops and 10 center fielders and 10 starting pitchers at every level that were future big leaguers. And then they get their shot in AAA in the big leagues. It's like, okay, you're a big leaguer, but I don't know if you're a good one. Like, I don't know if you're an everyday guy. It looks like you're a serviceable bench piece.
You know why? Because none of them have impact with the bat. Like, none of them have these high exit velos. It's the Guardians' way. If you make a bunch of contact and you don't strike out, they're going to love you. And then you get up to the big leagues, and it's like, well, if J-Ram is out of the lineup right now, we have Josh Naylor, who's a big power hitter, and then that's it. Like, Josh Bell was their 4-hitter for a long time with 18 home runs, right? So I have a guy who's basically the Austin Hedges equivalent for Bo Naylor. Bring him in at shortstop. It's going to be cheap. You probably won't notice it, but I think it'd be better for Rocchio's development and Jose Tena whenever he comes up as well. Gabriel Arias, these guys. Bring in Brandon Crawford for almost nothing.
You think he's worth almost nothing?
he's not signed yet for a reason. Did you see the
Is
year he had last year? I know you did, but just like
yes.
you see the numbers lately. I mean, he might retire. Like,
I wonder
and
if
then if he
Brandon
gives you
Crawford,
anything,
you're happy with it.
I really don't think it's going to be expensive.
So he's about to turn 37,
Yep.
literally next week.
Happy birthday.
Get a 580. Yeah, happy early birthday, Brandon Crawford. Let me tell you about your 587 OPS last year.
Yeah.
My thing is, will he play for anyone other than San Francisco? He's from Mountain View. He went to UCLA. He's just Cali born and bred. If he doesn't have a shot, maybe he just retires.
He might.
But I would sneaky really like that signing with Brandon Crawford just being there, because you know that Crawford can play shortstop still for
100%.
70 games if you need him. But if Rocchio gives you 110 and you need Crawford for 50, I'm pretty happy with that.
I had another option, Nick Ahmed, but I would rather bring in Crawford.
Yeah.
And remember, these moves are not groundbreaking. We're trying to develop the core here. Like, there's a reason the Guardians brought in Austin Hedges. They're not idiots. They see the same thing on the stat sheet offensively that you and I see. They're bringing him in for other reasons. I think they would bring in Crawford for other reasons to just help these shortstops. Like, if they pay him $4 million over 1 year, which I think is a fine deal to sign him to, take $4 million, play 70 games for us, and just help our young shortstops be the leader, I think he'd be interested, because it doesn't seem, if the Giants wanted him back, wouldn't they already get him back? I mean, maybe there's something there and they're just waiting. Could be something, but I think it has to be a Nick Ahmed or a Brandon Crawford to just add a little bit of veteran security to these young guys. And like, let's say Rocchio stinks. If Brandon Crawford is your shortstop, it's not terrible. He's not really going to hit, but you know he's going to play sound defense. He's a leader of men, the World Series champion. Like, I'd get him in the locker room.
Let's sign Brandon Crawford. I'm in. The outfield needs work, man. This outfield's bad.
Bad.
Steven Kwan, we're hoping he bounces back. Okay, that's your everyday left fielder. But then you're running out some assortment of Ramon Laureano, Miles Straw, Esteban Florial, Will Brennan, George Valera, John Kensey Noel. Noel, no. Like, Noel's going to be in AAA again. Valera, his year last year, I know that this guy was a top 50 prospect going into last year, but no, he was hurt and he wasn't good.
His fall was nuts.
Yeah. I think he was hurt. But having said that, like, this is a what have you done for me lately game, and he did nothing for them last year.
Yeah.
So I need juice. It's like somehow. And my eyes immediately gravitated towards Adam Duvall.
Yeah, I mean, that is more of a move that the Guardians would make over than signing the most obvious guy. I mean, let's get Jock Peterson in here. But I understand Peterson, the DH, you got Manzardo, you got Naylor. You don't really want Jock to DH. You would want him to play outfield. And at this point in his career, is he an everyday outfielder? Probably not. Adam Duvall still is. So I wouldn't mind the Adam Duvall signing at all. I mean, I keep giving this guy away just because I think he's a good player, and I don't know why nobody has gotten him yet, but I would love Travis Jankowski as well.
Yeah.
But I think Duvall is the perfect fit here. I mean, Guardians fans, how much longer are we doing Miles Straw? I get it. He's a great defender. But come on now. We've seen these games. I've watched a lot of them with you. We know he's grounding out. We know it. We've seen it for years. How much longer is he your starting center fielder? Be real with yourself. And you probably have already had these thoughts, because I've had plenty of them. Because you guys know I'm a secret Guardians fan. For whatever reason, I watch like every game. First of all, Cal. Second of all, Tanner Bybee. I just love this team. I love them. And I want better for them than Miles Straw in center. Respectfully. Well,
how much longer are we going to do the Laureano thing in right, too?
Exactly. No, I thought that was a given that he's done. Like, I thought we're just talking about Miles Straw, but I agree with you. Like, we got to get him out, too.
He's fucking awful. He's on the team.
He's awful.
I wish they still had Nolan Jones. Hell, I wish they still had Will Benson, but they don't.
I wish they had Nolan Jones and Will Benson. Damn it.
I know, but he didn't fit the Guardian mold, so they decided to
he
say
hit
adios.
Too many home runs.
Way too many,
Way
man.
too many home runs. Relax.
I was saying this with Aram. I just think like they saw him and it's like, oh, you're fucking Bobby Bradley again, aren't you? And the answer is no. Like those guys were both better than Bobby Bradley. Yeah, I think Duval can either keep Straw, okay, have Straw in center, Duval in a corner, but like when Straw is OPSing 550, you can move Duval to center and you can try somebody else in a corner. That's fine. I just think you have options. And Brennan, I think Will Brennan should make the 26-man roster.
I think it should be Adam Duvall in center and Will Brennan in right and Stephen Kwan in left. I think that should be their starting outfield
I like that outfield.
opening day. It's much better.
I like that outfield a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Not a lot, meaning like top 10 outfield in baseball, but
but it's better. I mean,
relatively
Laureano
speaking.
and Straw, like arguably Laureano and Straw should not be starters on any MLB team right now.
Yeah.
And you're the Guardians. Don't you want to win the division? You can't have two players in your lineup who arguably wouldn't be a starter on the Oakland A's. You can't do it. Would you rather have JJ Bleday or Miles Straw as your starting center fielder next year?
Straw, because I know I'm getting like Gold Glove caliber defense.
Would you?
Yeah, I think
Probably. I'm not. It's a conversation, isn't it? I mean, that's
Surely.
the starting center fielder for the Oakland.
Yeah,
A's.
but it's not
early.
but like you're making their ears bleed, right? Having that conversation, even posing the conversation.
But I'm making the conversation because we need to make changes and we need to make them fast. I mean,
and we just
that's
did.
not expensive. That's not expensive at all, right?
No.
We operate within the means of the team. We know the Guardians, we're not going to go sign Cody Bellinger, but we can sign Adam Duvall. And if you don't get Adam Duvall, we got to take a good look at ownership right now because, I mean, what are we doing here? We cannot keep running out that same outfield that doesn't do anything.
And they're going through an ownership change. Starting pitcher, Shane Bieber, Tristan McKenzie, Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams, Logan Allen. You've got Xavier Curry and Joey Cantillo as the 6th and 7th options. They're young. They're fun. Bieber's the anchor. Run with it.
This is why I'm probably going to buy them to win the division again. Look at that rotation. That is a dominant rotation. If Bieber can give you a 3-4 and 140 innings, McKenzie becomes what he is, which he already is. He was just hurt. Tanner Bybee was second in Rookie of the Year voting, one of the best pitchers in the American League. Gavin Williams is a step below Grayson. At times, he can look dominant like that. Grayson is better, but he has that sort of upside where you watch a Gavin Williams start and you're thinking to yourself, oh, shit. Oh, shit. This guy's good. And then Logan Allen is your 5. I will take that every day of the week.
I saw Gavin Williams pump 100 out of the outside corner against right-handed hitters for 7 shutout innings this past year in AAA.
He does something sometimes where you think to yourself, he might be the best in the rotation. That's how good. But then this is why Bybee is objectively better, because Bybee is so much more consistent.
Yes.
So much more consistent and can go longer than Gavin can. But for a couple innings there, your eyes perk up and you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
And guess what? They have both, along with Tristan McKenzie, along with Shane Bieber. Bieber is never going to blow up in his fucking life. I promise you that.
He doesn't know lefty, and he'd go 5 innings, 2 runs. Efficient.
And Logan Allen is a fun young pitcher. I think Cantillo can have a big year too. The bullpen, I think they downgraded getting Barlow for Enyel De Los Santos. Like, De Los Santos has all 3 years of arbitration remaining. They get Barlow in his final year of control. Why did you do that trade? That was one where I just kind of scratched my head when I saw it.
I wish I had an answer for you. When I saw it come across the ticker, I'm like, what the hell? What? Why?
Holy
no sense. Enyel De Los Santos was one of their best relievers in spots. Last year, this Guardians bullpen got beaten into the mud, right? Like Trevor Stephan is a good reliever. He shouldn't have gotten blown up like that, but it's because it seems like he's pitching every single day. Class A, same thing. Henches, same thing. Sandlin, Morgan. These guys are better than what their ERAs said, but they kept having to get thrown in there in the 4th inning because they weren't getting any length. And that's when they were starting to lose ball games. Like the Guardians team that won the division, the starters were going 5 or 6, and then these guys would come in rested, and then it was over. And then they would have some magic there with some walk-offs and all that other stuff. This year just wasn't like that. I mean, Class A, what did you go from a 1-8 to a 3-2? You
I think
can't do
so.
that. Same thing with a lot of these guys. Like Trevor Stephan is not a 4.06 ERA guy. He is one of the better relievers in the American League. He just didn't perform like it last year. That's the way I view a lot of these arms. So I'm very excited to see how they all bounce back. But I, again, would love to add another reliever here. We have to.
How do you view Karinchak?
When he's on, he's on, and when he's off, he's off. It's as simple as that. When
That's
he has a
great.
grip,
Love
when he
that.
when he has no when he has a grip on the baseball and he is pulling down on 97 and it looks the same with that hammer of a curveball, say goodnight. When he doesn't have the grip on the ball and he's throwing 94 instead of 97 and the curveball ain't getting located, he's auto 4 runs. Does he have it that day or does he not? That's why it's so tough, and that's why he can't be an eighth inning guy, in my opinion. There's too much on the line. He's a dynamite. But when it looks good, I mean, the inning is over when it looks good. When it's bad, it's 4 earned. I can't do that.
I want to sign an eighth inning guy. So you've got Clase, Barlow, Hentges, Stephan, Sandlin, Karinchak, Eli Morgan, Tim Herron. I want either fuzz or legit success for the last several years. And the two names that jump to my mind are Hector Neris. I want to shove Neris on every fucking good team.
Yeah, I don't hate
And
that.
Jordan Hicks, man. Like if I've got 102 from Hicks and then 102 from Clase at their best, feels sick.
It does feel sick. The way you described it, that did kind of fire me up. But I have 2 options that I think are just better than those 2 guys.
Okay.
And I've been saying it. That's the problem. I keep bringing them up. I mean, somebody signed Robert Stevenson. Somebody.
Yeah.
Please. He's going to be really good. He is. And if he's not, I'll fucking eat it. This guy with the Rays, I was watching him. I'm like, it's Fairbanks than him. And Fairbanks is a dog. And Stevenson was almost as good as he was. And maybe everybody knows about him by this point, and he's testing suitors, and maybe that puts the Guardians out of it because whenever anyone's testing suitors, it's not the Cleveland Guardians that are going to sign him. So, do we need a lefty? Yeah, we need a lefty here, Jack. We have one lefty. We need a lefty. So Wandy Peralta is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Has closed games before and can be that dominant type guy. He's not amazing, but he's still good. Not Amir Garrett. Not Justin Wilson. Yeah, we got to go sign Wandy Peralta. We have to. We're not signing Jake Diekman.
Why not?
We have to sign Wandy Peralta.
Okay.
That sense, we have to, Jack.
Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth. Give me Wandy Peralta.
You have to sign him.
Quick trivia. 3 teams at the major league level that Robert Stevenson played for before the Tampa Bay Rays.
The Reds.
Mm-hmm.
You got me.
The Rockies.
Huh.
And who did they acquire him from? He made 18 appearances this past year with a team.
You got to tell me.
It was Robert Stevenson for Alika Williams in a trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Ah. Look at all the teams that aren't very good kind of giving up on Robert Stevenson.
Dude,
with all due respect,
the Rays have a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Okay, Wandy Peralta it is. So the new Guardians team is Bo Naylor, Austin Hedges is the catching tandem. Naylor and Manzardo is the first base DH pairing. Andres Jimenez with Juan Brito, Tyler Freeman is his backup, whatever. Brian Roquillo, Gabriel Arias, and Brandon Crawford as the middle infield options. J. Ram and Davison De Los Santos as the third base options. The outfield, we want to run out an opening day outfield of Stephen Kwan, Will Brennan, and Adam Duvall, with Miles Straw, Laureano, Esteban Florial as backup plans, Valera and Noel if they figure it out. The rotation stays the same. Bieber, McKenzie, Bybee, Gavin Williams, and Logan Allen with Cantillo and Curry as the backup plans. And then the bullpen, Emmanuel Clase, Wandy Peralta, Barlow, Hentges, Stephan, Sandlin, Karinchak.
Bang.
Bang.
That team wins the division. Yep.
Especially with Minnesota dialing it back.
I love Detroit this year, but
I like Detroit.
This team wins the division, I think. If they stay healthy, right? because I said the same thing last year. McKenzie goes down, Bieber goes down, and a lot of the pitchers were rookies at this point, and J-Ram was great, but he wasn't 7 F-WAR J-Ram. He was 5.5 F-WAR J-Ram, which is obviously still amazing, but he wasn't like unbelievably elite. Andres Jimenez had a 98 WRC plus. Like if Jimenez is back to being at least 120, J-Ram does his thing. Roquillo is fine. Bo Naylor, like the pitching, it's going to be a really good team. I think they win the division. I will be betting them to win the division.
This division's gonna suck again. All
No,
right.
I disagree.
This division's gonna suck, man.
I disagree. I think the Tigers are going to be pretty solid. I think the Twins are obviously going to be solid. I think the Guardians are going to be good. And I think the Royals, they have some guys who you're going to tune in to watch. Like I ain't missing a Cole Reagan start this year. And then I'm going to get to watch Bobby Witt Jr. and Vinny P. Yeah, the White Sox are going to blow. But the rest, like, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I really don't.